The mining colony on Theta 7 had fallen silent 3 weeks ago. When the distress beacon finally reached Earth, they sent Jan, a xenobiologist with more field scars than publications, and his partner Elsa, a negotiator who'd talked down everything from hive minds to crystalline sentiences. What they found wasn't a colony. It was a graveyard. 17 settlements across the outer rim, Elsa said, her breath fogging in the thin atmosphere as they picked through collapsed prefab structures. All the same pattern. No bodies, no blood, no signs of struggle, just ... empty. John knelt beside a massive indentation in the permafrost. The crater was easily 15 meters across, too large for any registered ship class. Something landed here, something big. The ground trembled. They spun around to see her rising from behind the ridge, a figure that defied every law of biology John had spent 20 years studying. She stood 30 meters tall, her form humanoid but impossibly vast. Skin the color of deep space itself, scattered with points of light that pulsed like distant stars. Her eyes, when they opened, were twin moons, silver, luminous, and utterly alien. Holy John's hand moved instinctively to his sidearm. Don't. Elsa grabbed his wrist. Her voice was steady, but John could feel her trembling. We don't know what she is. The giantess tilted her head, regarding them with curiosity. Then she smiled, her expression so human it was terrifying on that cosmic face, and spoke. Her voice was a symphony of harmonics, words layered over words, but somehow they understood. Small things, she said. Fragile things. You came. From the rocks behind them, a laugh echoed bitter and broken. A man emerged, gaunt and wild-eyed, his uniform marking him as colony security. You fools, run. She eats men. She's consumed 6 colonies, thousands of people. I'm the only one left from here. The only one who. He broke into hysterical laughter, clutching at his head. The giantess's expression shifted to something like sadness. He does not understand, she said. None of them did. John's heart hammered against his ribs. But he'd faced down enough alien threats to know that running was often the worst option. His mind raced through xenobiology protocols. Assess, analyze, survive. What are you? He asked. Those moon eyes focused on him with an intensity that made him feel transparent. I am hunger, she said simply. I am the space between stars, the emptiness that devours light. I am ... old, the survivor screamed. She'll eat you. She'll be silent, Elsa commanded, her negotiator's training taking over. She stepped forward, away from John, her hands raised in a universal gesture of peace. You said they didn't understand. Help us understand. The giantess lowered herself, bringing her face close enough that they could see their own reflections in those vast eyes. Her lips parted, revealing not teeth but a void, a darkness that seemed to pull at them, and then she licked her lips, a gesture so deliberately theatrical that John suddenly understood. You're starving, he said. Yes. The word was a sigh that shook the ground. I have wandered for eons, feeding on stellar dust and radiation, but it is never enough. I am always ... hollow, and then I found them. Humans, the survivor wailed, but Elsa held up a hand to silence him. What did you do to the colonies? I descended, as I always do when I find sentient life. I hoped they might understand. I showed them what I am: pure need, infinite hunger. They saw my nature and fled in terror. Some tried to fight, but in the end, she paused, and John saw something astonishing in those alien features. Shame. In the end, I consumed their fear, their despair, their resignation. Emotions burned brighter than stars in my emptiness. It sustained me for days. But the guilt never fades. John's mind clicked into place. You're not a predator. You're a parasite. No, he corrected himself as the pieces fell together. You're something that feeds on psychic energy, emotional resonance. I do not wish to be, the giantess whispered. But I am hunger. It is all I am. Elsa looked at John. In her eyes, he saw the same mad idea forming. You've never tried anything else, have you? Elsa asked. You consume fear because that's what they give you. What if we offered you something different? The giantess's expression shifted: confusion, then hope, fragile and desperate. John unsealed his pack and pulled out his emergency rations. Nutrient bars, protein paste, water recyclers, pathetic offerings for a cosmic entity. He stepped forward, hands shaking, and held them up. It's not much, he said, but it's food, real food, not emotions, not people, just ... food. The colony survivor laughed again, a broken sound. You're insane. She eats men. But the giantess was staring at John's offering with something like wonder. Slowly, impossibly, gently for a being of her size, she extended one vast finger. It touched the nutrient bar, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then light blazed across her starlit skin. Her eyes widened. A sound escaped her, not words, but a chord of pure astonishment. I can ... taste it, she breathed. Not the emotion surrounding it. The thing itself. Matter. Energy. Substance. She looked at them with tears that fell like meteorites. In 10,000 years, I never tried. I never thought to ask. Elsa smiled, though her eyes were wet. That's very human of you, to assume you know what you need without asking. John pulled out more rations, then looked at Elsa. Together they opened their emergency supplies, everything they had. The giantess consumed each offering with reverence, and with each one her form grew less translucent, more solid, more real. It's not enough, she said finally. This is only a taste. I need so much more. Then come with us, Elsa said. Come to Earth. We have warehouses full of synthetic proteins, algae farms that span continents, asteroid mining operations producing more raw materials than we can use. We're good at one thing above all else, feeding ourselves. Maybe we can feed you too. The giantess looked between them, these two tiny, fragile beings who'd offered compassion where countless others had offered only terror. Why? She asked. Why would you help something like me? John thought of every alien species humanity had encountered, every misunderstanding that had nearly sparked war, every bridge they'd built across the impossible gaps between minds. Because you're hungry, he said simply, and we have food. That's reason enough. The giantess smiled again, but this time, it wasn't terrifying. This time, it was grateful. Behind them, the colony survivor had stopped laughing. He was staring, understanding dawning in his eyes. You really think, he whispered, you really think humans can save us? Elsa looked back at him. We've done stranger things. Besides, she grinned, feeding impossible cosmic entities. That's exactly the kind of absurd challenge humanity loves. The giantess rose to her full height, and for the first time since she'd arrived in their galaxy, she felt something other than hunger. She felt hope. And somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, humanity prepared to do what it did best, turn the impossible into the inevitable, one meal at a time.